Alright, DP Minute, day 26. Beautiful day. I'm going to read just what I read this morning and what the Lord spoke to me through that. It's Matthew 14. Later that night, Jesus was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter said, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." And so a few things stood out to me during that time of reading that, where first Jesus was super compassionate. He knew that Peter having faith would have meant he stayed on top of the water. And he could have essentially stayed there if he had had enough faith, but Jesus went to him even in his lack of faith. And Jesus rescued him in that moment. And when he told him, "You have little faith," he was doing that in compassion because he knew that he was there to rescue him, and he understood. And the last thing that really stood out to me was he was telling, Peter was stepping out in faith, and I started asking myself, well, what does that look like right now? Because I can't really do that much. I think of the big stepping out in faith as you go here and you do this and you face this. But what Jesus called Peter to in that moment was him. That's all Peter was doing, was walking towards Jesus. And in that moment, it took faith because the winds were crazy and the waves were crazy. And that's what Jesus is calling me to do. That's what Jesus is calling us to do during this time, is we can't really be out saving the world. Some of us are, but not all of us. But he's like, "Come to me." That's what faith is calling us to right now, is to not look at the waves and not look at the wind, but look at Jesus and step towards him. And even if our faith shrinks in that moment, he's going to step towards us. So that blessed my heart today, and just wanted to share it with you guys. And I really miss you all. I really do. And I love you.